මහණෙනි ඒ දුක ඇතිවීම නම් වූ ආර්ය සත්‍යය ප්‍රහාණය කළ යුතුයි කියා මාට පෙර නොඇසූ විරුද්ධ ධර්මයන්හි දහම්මැස පහළ විය ඥානය පහළ විය ප්‍රඥාව පහළ විය විද්‍යාව පහළ විය ආලෝකය පහළ විය තංකෝපනිදං දුක්ඛ සමුදයං අරිය සත්‍යං පහීනන්ති මේ භික්ඛවේ පුබ්බේ අනනුස්සුතේසු ධම්මේසු චක්ඛුං උදපාදි ඥානං උදපාදි පඤ්ඤා උදපාදි විද්‍යා උදපාදි ආලෝකෝ උදපාදි පින්වත් මහණෙනි ඒ දුක ඇතිවීම නම් වූ ආර්ය සත්‍යය ප්‍රහාණය වූයේ යයි කියා මාට පෙර නොඇසූ විරුද්ධ ධර්මයන්හි දහම්මැස පහළ විය ඥාන
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good evening, venerable monks, nuns, and my Dhamma friends. Good evening. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
teacher.
Okay, right. Okay, so this evening we are going to work on two subjects, right? Metta Bhavana and Samatha Bhavana. And we have two groups, right? We will share their knowledge, their preparation about Metta Bhavana and Samatha Bhavana. Somehow we have some knowledge about Metta Bhavana and Samatha already. So now we spend more time and go a little bit deeper on this. Okay, so first Team 4, right? Team 4, we present about Metta Bhavana, right? Are you ready? Who come, right? So I will share you co-host. Okay.
Good evening, teacher and sister and brothers.
Okay.
We are ready. May I stay on my screen?
Not yet.
So good evening, everyone. Good evening, teacher, brother, and sister. My name is Thơ. I am from Team 4. So I would like to share with brother, sister, and a teacher story about myself. So I was born in 1919. It means I fall into Generation Z. Our generations has grown internet and social media and using dating apps like Facebook, Tinder, Instagram is the most common way we are find and meeting the partners. Or you can understand as we are falling in love by this way. But as soon as I realized that the more relationships are unstable, this is not the love I am looking for in my life. So one day, one said to me, internet, internet connects people to people, and meta connects being to being. So meta, the Buddha love, is my answer, the answer that I'm looking for a long time ago. So today we will talk about Buddha real love, metta, and how to practice metta meditation. Okay, can you hear me? Because I'm not able to see my face. Teacher? Okay, can I continue? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, it's okay. Please continue.
Thank you, teacher. So next, we have 4 content today. First, definition and meta sending order. I will be in charge of the first part, and the second part, the importance of meta Bhavana. Brother Hữu Thắng will in charge of this part, and part 3 and part 4, my sister Ngân Lan will share with you her information of this part. So, what is metta? Metta is loving kindness. The teaching of Buddha was transmitted orally from generation to generation for nearly 5 centuries before the monk in Sri Lanka wrote them down in 29 BCE in Pali language. The word metta is private from another word, mita, which means friend. Mita also means son. We depend on the sun want to survive, and we rely on loving friendship to thrive. And Dipaha means develop or cultivation. For me, metta is not simply love. Not just the kindness. No, it's the only love and kindness. It's the kindness which has a quality of love and care for it. It's unconditional love. Loving kindness is not a set of love. Love has some self-interest in this. Often our love is conditional. We love people as long as they are nice to us. We love people as long as they love us back. But if they don't love us or they are not nice to us, then it's very difficult to love them. So our love depends on the condition of our design. This is the same as animal or any other being as well. If they are nice to us, we love them. But then if they don't nice to us, we don't love them. This means they conditional resent. So as soon as I understand what is unconditional love, it means a lot for my life. It's changing the world, my life. So this is the metta category order. First of all, you send the metta to yourself. Then you send the metta to respect people. Then difference a nature being, and finally using metta to help my sister Ngân Lam will talk about more detail, more insight about this later on her part. This is the end. This is the end of my part. I would like to invite Brother Hữu Thắng to continue our presentation. Please turn on your mic. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Now we moving to the importance of the metta bhavana. First, we can say that Buddhism is the religion of loving kindness. That's the metta is an extremely important feature in Buddhism. Just remember the time the Bodhisattva Siddhartha has left his family to go to find a way to free himself and find a way to free the others. Without metta, the Bodhisattva Siddhartha couldn't leave his family. So the reason of Buddha's renunciation, that's a good demonstration for the important feature. Second, Nibbana can be experienced only by those whose minds are filled with loving kindness and compassion for all beings. Just remember Devadatta, a cousin of Buddha. He gained the meditation, but he didn't enter the level of sainthood. He couldn't control himself in destroy the Buddha and the Buddha's Sangha. Third one, with liberating loving kindness, the practitioners have 8 benefits. We can read it in Tăng Chi chương 8 Pháp. What are the 8 benefits? The Buddha said that someone with the liberating loving kindness, he can sleep peacefully, wake up peacefully, see no nightmares, and be admired by people and be loved by non-humans. He is protected by gods. The fire, poison, and sword would not harm him. And if he does not reach the sainthood, he can attend the Phạm Thiên world. So with the 8 benefits, it's a very good one for us to practice the metta. Number 4, please. Metta bhavana. Now we talk about metta bhavana. That's a dynamic process producing a supportive atmosphere in which we can act to help yourself and the others, and the others can act to help themselves. Just read the Tiểu Kinh Sừng Bò. That's a demonstration. Just remember the situation in which the Buddha visited the rừng Sừng Bò, Gosenki. The Buddha visited 3 disciplines like the Venerable Kibila, Anuruddha, and Nandiya. The Buddha asked why they has lived peacefully and harmoniously with each other, and they said that with the loving kindness they can live peacefully with each other. And number 5, the fifth characteristics, with metta is a reflection of Attana. Yeah. When the Buddha and the Arahants attain absolute selflessness, the compassion will cover the whole universe. So the metta is the 9 noble quality and paramita. So it's true to say that the Buddha has the universal compassion, and the Arahants also has the universal compassion too. Now, number 6, please. Metta bhavana helps the meditation to progress faster That's it. The more we practice metta bhavana, the closer we are to anatta. Anatta, that's it, no self or vô ngã. It says if the metta is broader, the anatta is we can reach we can reach the anatta closer. The more we practice metta, the closer we are to anatta. Yeah. That's it for my presentation. Thank you for listening. Now we move to the next.
Hello. Before I talk about my part, I would like to share the quote in Metta Bhavana books that indicate the roles of Vipassana and Metta. As I like to think that Vipassana or mindfulness is my work and Metta is my hobby. Rest is a holiday and life is an adventure. By the way, most of my presentation based on this book and the other one called Loving Kindness in Plain English. So go to the first part of my presentation. Next slide. So the relationship between metta and metta bhavana and other bhavana. Firstly, the way we practice metta is similar, or I would say it's the same with samatha meditation. That means you have to concentrate on object. And in this case, this is the wishes for yourself and other beings. So if you practice metta, when you die with a good citta and some kind of jhana you attain that could be Prussian in Devaloka or heaven, or you rebirth with a better life. However, it is not the way to attain enlightenment. And secondly, the relationship between metta bhavana and vipassana, I would say that practicing metta can assist you very well in vipassana meditation. If you are a meditator in vipassana, you definitely know that it's not easy at all. When we're supposed to accept the truth, the truth, and no matter what hindrances or defilement arise in our mind, we have to accept it just exists, and we cannot deny anything. And sometimes, the truth is really tough and bitter somehow. So lots of unpleasant feeling comes as a defilements or hindrances. At that time, metta is such a right support tool to relieve or soften these kinds of hindrances. And next, I would no, back. Could you go back? Yeah, the next one. And also, the practice of metta alone cannot lead you to the peace of nibbana, as I mentioned. That is samatha practice. So the most result you can get, or the version you can get, the Devaloka or some better world is in the next life. It cannot lead you to the nibbana. You should remember that. And the second one is metta bhavana is a part of Noble Eightfold Path. When we say that metta is a part of the Noble Eightfold Path, that means that when we develop the metta, like our hearts is full of the loving kindness, so that we have doing nothing wrongs to other. It's just like the right actions, for example. And for that reason, the practice metta bhavana is also part of development toward to enlightenment. Next slide. So I'm going to talk about the practice metta bhavana in this part. Before we could sending anything to someone, we're supposed to have something. And then, I'm gonna go with the development within yourself. Firstly, you can develop by repeating some metta lines. You can choose like just one line or the whole phrase, or yeah, like may I be well, may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be filled with love and kindness. Yeah, it's just like a meditation object that you repeat it over and over again, you know, like many times until it improve in your mind. And when you practice this kinds of meditation, you should find the most comfortable postures to make sure that your body don't feel any unpleasant feeling. Because the more you feel good when you practice, the more it helps you to gain the metta inside. Yeah. And when you develop your metta in this way, is also develop the concentration and feeling in case some kinds of appearances arise, you just ignore it and bring the mind back to metta. Yeah, because we are practicing samatha meditation, so we just ignore it. We don't go to interpret anything. Like, this is a really interesting example in the book, like the steamer rolling, you know, like the steamer rolling for contracting the rows. It just go to get straight the row, and on the rock become flattened. Yeah, it's just like our definement. So here we go to the another step, like when you become to get close, or your metta becomes strong as a habit, and your mind can be fulfilled with the metta, or you can feel it become to a habit when you practice more and more. And you should not only practice in one posture, like sitting. You should practice it in your daily life or on kind of activity, like when you working, when you reading, or when you just like you try a car on the road. How to do that. For example, like you are on a bus, and definitely you do not go along on the bus with another passenger, you know, like, and we firstly wish for ourselves, like, may I be safe on the trip, and then may I be safe on the trip again. Yeah, like this. And when we practice it consistently, you know, like until it become a habit, and then it turns out to your experience or a reflex. It's really natural that you don't try anymore to get that level. I think it's just like something very natural and your own experience or your direct experience. Yeah. I would say that when you develop this method, you should always be done. It should always be done with a pure good intention. Metta is loving kindness. That means some things is with unconditionally. So if we send something back to another one, it's not metta anymore. So we firstly go with our good intention. Next, please. So when we practice our metta very strong enough to send it out to other people, so now we go to this step. As my friend to mention about the others of sending, so now I will remind again. The reason we firstly send to our respective one first, because it's easier than to the one we hate or the one we don't like. It's such like we're playing game, you know, like we go from the very easy level to the hard level. Don't try to do previously. It's very difficult for you guys. So when we develop a good metta and we pay attention to the one we want to send it out, then which we repeat these wishes toward to them until we feel like our loving kindness become their loving kindness, and there's no barrier between I and you. Yeah, it just become a natural flow of metta, and in this case, it's just like a river flow and flow without any hindrances arise. So here we go to the next slide. I would like to introduce another way, like the 8 ways to cultivate loving kindness from the book Loving Kindness in Plain English by Venerable Hene Paula. The reason I would tell you a little bit more about the way to cultivation, because I think that every teacher has their own experience and has its own way to teach their students. So I will introduce a little bit more about this way. It's actually also the same, like he go with firstly associate through repetition. So that means you have to create a very good intention firstly, like with the loving thought to yourself first and then to other persons, and you repeat it in your mind until it take a hold in your mind. And in the second way is like cultivation. I think this is a little bit different from the method of the monk before. In Metta Bhavana, he mentions about the practice of mindfulness. Firstly, when we practice mindfulness, it's just like we cut up the grass on the garden before we grow some other plant. So in this case, firstly, the cultivation is about practice of mindfulness, and then the second one is you repeat or pay attention the metta sutta, like some wishes. And amplification, that means the more you practice, the more you can, the more your metta become amplified, it more consistent, and you can send a really good qualities of metta to other people, to yourself first, and then to other people. The vehicles, that means jhana in Pali. This is a very similar and popular common metaphor in Buddha teaching. He uses a lot of jhana. It means the more of transport, or in this case, the way of practice. He means like when you practice metta, you should not just practice in one cultures, as I mentioned before, that you should practice in all the activities. It's like the whole activity in your life. Yeah, it should attach with metta. And the rail is where we stand on. So metta is really the rail to develop other like samatha meditation, or even mindfulness meditation, and also how to and also like they represent the steadiness. When our metta practice is steady, we experience steady peace and happiness. The kind that is not dissolved by mere circumstance, And experience, he would like to emphasize that it's supposed to be like our direct experience. It is not any kind of theory or any kind of theory or philosophy. Everything that should be turned out to very direct experience. And with the habit one, practice until it becomes your own habit, that you don't have to try anymore. It's just like very natural. And the more you practice, the more you can achieve the best one to say another. Next slide. With this one, as I mentioned before, that metta has a relationship with the Noble Eightfold Paths, and also the Noble Eightfold Paths is a way to practice metta, you know, like the loving kindness is implicit in the Four Noble Truths, and the Four Noble Truths is the part of a mindful step to happiness. And when we practice the eight mindful step, actually we practice the metta. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. I'm sorry that my knowledge in metta is so limited that I could not give you a lot of information. Sorry about that. So do you have any question?
Yeah, thank you for the presentation of Team 4. Right? Yeah, you spend a lot of time to study the metta meditation. And you also learn from the books of I don't remember his name, but he's Sri Lankan. He's quite famous in area. Watala. I don't remember his name, so sorry. But like I also learned and read some of his books. He's a great monk, right? You can learn a lot from him, and especially for modern people, right? And they can approach the teaching of the Buddha in a modern way, so you can learn a lot. Yeah, metta is something like something you know, how to say, very difficult to express. If you really develop metta inside yourself, right, you have no enemies, right, inside and outside also. Okay, so now the time for Q&A. Then we share some of us in experiences and also information, right? So here we have Phạm Tiên, right? Please raise your question.
Yeah, thank you, teacher and team 4 for your presentation. I hear you have to deal with a benefits. So it's the same with the novel A4 part different. So can you please explain more about a benefits?
Yeah. Yeah, please. Okay, Thứ Lâm, right? Please.
Actually, in my presentation, I mentioned about the noble eightfold part is when we practice the noble eightfold parts. Actually, we are practice metta. So you mean like how to say? If I say like when you practice the noble eightfold parts is metta, I think it's right, because metta is included in the actions, you know, the step. However, when we say that when we practice only metta, can we attain the same result or the same fruitions as we practice the noble eightfold parts? I think it's not the same. You know, I don't know. I don't know if my answer is good for you.
Sorry. When we had meditation, we can get you can get a skill by yourself. So how about we develop about novel iPhone Plus? How you think about that?
Pardon?
For your have the mindful state to master, you have a skill, right? So how you think not for iPhone part with a skill you have to show us. So it can develop to a iPhone, not for iPhone part or not.
Oh, you mean that if we practice metta, can we develop the noble eightfold path, right?
It's the same. It's the same with a skill you have to show or not.
Actually, I read from the book Metta Bhavana that when you practice Metta Bhavana is actually a part. They didn't say like the whole, like a part. So when you practice, for example, I mentioned before that when you go with good intention, then you have like such a good thought or the right thought. When you have no intent to harm the other, so it leads to the right action. Yeah. I don't think it's the same like but it's a part of the noble eightfold part. Yeah, I think.
So for this benefits you get from the chant or from yourself to think about that.
Sorry.
So for a benefits you show to us that is your thinking or from the chant from where or just
actually I mentioned the reference. Is it from the book called Loving Kindness in Plain English? Yeah. If you sorry that because I have just like one page, so I couldn't show you more information. Like you should read more about that, so I can say it later on by the group. Then you can read more and more about the book.
So you get
I have just like one page.
So you get from the chant.
No. I get from the book, not the chant. The chant is different. The chanting, you mean like the sutta, right?
The chant, I see the chant. iPhone, not for iPhone Plus from the chant, right? And we had the document. We have the evidence to show. And how about for your team to show a benefit?
Oh, actually, the benefit was about the sutta, so that's why we didn't mention again.
Tăng chi bộ of the chan, right? Where you have also a benefit.
Yeah, Mr. Tang, can you help? Because it's your part.
Sorry, I don't understand your question, Miss Lam Tinh.
Phạm Tinh.
Okay, you have to show us a benefit, right? It means have in Tăng Chi Bộ chance, right?
Yeah,
so,
sure.
It's the same or it's from it's the same or it's from not for iPhone Plus.
Different.
Sorry.
Rather different. Just imagine if you have to go to the Nibbana, you have a boat, you have a pedal to row slowly, slowly, slowly. And with the Metta Bhavana, you have a sail and you and have the wing to make you go faster. But with a wing and a boat and a sail, you cannot go to the Nibbana. Just look at my example. Do you understand my example? You have to go to you have to go from the side of the river to the other side of the river. With the boat, you can row slowly, slowly. With the Vipassana, only Vipassana, you can go slowly, slowly. And with the Metta Bhavana, you have the wing to blow you. It makes you row faster, but it's quite different.
You mean it many meditation, different meditation about loving kindness, about metta, about savana, mahavana. All things is different with the way meditation.
Listen, if it's the same, we use the same name. Remember that? Why did the Buddha make it so complicated for you to study? If it's the same, it have the same name, okay? We have different names. It means different characteristics. It's quite different. Metta Bhavana is different from...
Nice. We discuss on metta, right? Metta, what does it mean? Metta here is like, you know, without hatred, right? Without expectation on return, right? When you know, you love with other without condition, right? So
Sure.
here in this case, I will discuss something, right? Try. Here the point is that, like, you know, one who can, you know, generate metta, also practice metta, right? And he should, you know, has a good sila, right? And his mind should be pure, you know, without craving and without craving, without hatred, right? So then you can love other people without condition, without expectation. When you do something for people, you don't need they, you know, give you in meditation. In meditation, when we practice, like normally, how to say, at the first step, you know, so just like, I love people, I hope you are happy, I wish you are happy, blah blah blah. But our mind is not really calm, you know. You still have some craving, you still have some hatred inside. So first step, just theory, right? But step by step, when you purify your mind, right, and your how to say, verbal, mental, and bodily actions are pure, right? So metta will be more, and you have actually there's one kind of energy when you generate. Then we have some kind of vibration, right? Other people can feel, and this has a lot of things I myself experience. So many things about metta. For example, many years back, right, when I was a monk, when I practice after meditation, I just generate my metta to my family members and also for my relatives. So a few years back, right, I went back to Vietnam, and then I met them, and I found out what I wished for them at that time is, you know, became true, right? So not only one case, but many cases. So metta is something like we cannot express as a normal. About Phạm Tiên question. First, you use the word chant. I don't. What do you mean in Vietnamese? What does it mean in Vietnamese? Chant. What is that? I don't know. Hello, Tiên, are you there? Can I hear from you?
Yes. Thank you for host. Thank you for this chat. You mean kinh tăng chi bộ. I benefit.
Chan, you mean sutta, right? You hear me in the sutta, right? Is it the discourses? Yeah. Oh, okay. So can you type that word? I don't really.
Chan
No,
kinh
like China.
kinh
Ờ.
Tăng Chi Bộ có 8 cái lợi lạc mà Tim Pho show ra, thì cái không biết là cái 8 lợi lạc đó nó có giống như cái lợi lạc của bát chánh đạo hay không ạ?
Actually, here you must distinguish, practice metta through, right, A4 noble part, and the benefits of metta bhavana. So actually, we have 11 benefits, right, from the practice of metta bhavana. So you can find that, it's the name here we share with you. So wait me a second. So metta nisangsa sutang, right? In this sutta, we have like 11 benefit of metta bhavana, right? So those who practice metta, right, and has a lot of metta, he sleeps happily, right? He wakes up happily and blah blah blah. This, so we have 11 benefits. So you can read it. I will send to you.
Teacher, please unmute your mic. Thank you.
Okay, so chant, right? Chant here is like chanting, right? Tụng kinh hay là đọc kinh, right? On here's like, I think like you mentioned about like pitaka, right? Pitaka. So we have like Vinaya Pitaka, right? Sutta Pitaka and Abhidhamma Pitaka, and inside Sutta Pitaka consists of many other, right, collections as well, right? For example, Diga Nikaya, right? Majjhima Nikaya, and etc. Is it right? I think. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So distinguish, right? Practice metta through, right, A4 noble part, and the benefit of metta bhavana we have like 11 benefits, right? You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. The point is that we need to practice, keep our mind calm, right? And we need upekha, right? Upekha is mean like tâm xả, tâm bình, right? Hoặc là bình tĩnh, right? So when we have some argument, blah blah blah, we're calm, right? Okay. Okay, I think like Mai Loan, right? Maybe has some question. Okay, please raise your question.
Thank you, teacher. Thank you, team, for your presentation. So my question is that can anyone here share some experience about how to practice metta bhavana? For example, is Ho'oponopono is belong to metta bhavana? Yes, teacher.
So say experience, but the last part I cannot hear you clearly.
I mean that can anyone here share some experience about how to practice metta bhavana? And the second question is that is Ho'oponopono just 4 sentences is belong to metta bhavana? Can you
No,
hear
the
my
second
question?
question, I have to hear you clearly. What you mentioned about this in second question?
Hello. I can explain for her. She mean like this is a method called Ho'oponopono
Yes,
from I don't know, maybe from someone in brochure. Yeah, and this
for
method
me,
is
right?
that you yeah, I love you,
yes,
I'm
yes.
sorry,
Sorry,
please forgive me, something
and
like
I
this.
love you. That we have 4 sentences that and we will repeat 4 sentence again and again. And my question is that belong to the metta meditation?
I myself think that this may be the same methods, like you recite one sentence to concentrate on this, to firstly like take it in your mind, and to before you can develop the meta insight. But I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Like it's the same, result or not. Yeah. But like I actually don't practice metta bhavana as the book metta bhavana, like practice alone. Actually I practice after my vipassana meditation. At that time I was with my very good um discipline on morality, and also I mean the good sila, and also with some kind of good concentration, and very like very maybe average in vipassana. Yeah, so it's a great chance for me to develop the metta inside me. Even my teacher didn't teach about this technique, but it naturally developed inside me even before the teacher told me how to do that. I don't know why. And then I read the book Metta Bhavana as the teacher as he would recommend, and I figured out that when you practice vipassana, at some point, actually the metta arises. It doesn't mean that you practice alone and then it developed. Maybe it developed at any time in your life or in other activities. Yeah, I think. Thầy, could you share some experience about that?
Okay. I think it's quite long for metta, right? Metta actually is very important, but nowadays I find that many people say that we should practice this and that. But when we face some difficulties in life, then we forget everything, right? So I also wrote some notes on my Facebook and all that, right? You can learn and you do everything, but the best way and easy way is trở thành người tử tế first, right? And then you practice otherwise then we just try to show up something, but inside, every day we don't really, behave properly and have a share with some normal good qualities, with other. So in short, right? First, come người tử tế, right? And then step by step, you can learn and practice or many other things. Okay, so anyway, metta is quite wide, right? And a lot of things to share and to practice, right? But like somehow try to do wholesome things, even if it's a small thing to the big thing. Every day, is step by step, for sure. Metta will develop, and you metta, and you yourself receive, get a lot of benefit, right? And for sure, other people also, not all the people, but so many other beings also get benefit. So we close the metta here, metta bhavana session here, and we are going to samatha. The point is that like metta is one subject of one of 40 subjects of samatha, right? Bhavana. So it has relation. So when we have more time, then we can recall next week, right? We also work on samatha. Now the time for team 6, right? Somehow we have a short minute, so try to present and conclude about samatha early, and then next week we go deep on samatha. So who will present? Please raise your hand and share you. Right.
Hello, teacher. I'm from Team 6.
Okay.
So I start this way.
So how many members of team 6 we presented?
Yeah, just me, teacher.
Okay. Okay.
So I will start. Good evening, teacher and Gamma friends. I'm from Team 6. We tell you about Samatha Bhavana, the tranquility of the mind. We have 4 parts. The first is definition. Meditation is a simple and practical method of cultivating and purifying the mind to help it settle down, become cultured and develop. So this development of mind that produces very good effects, and it needs to be practiced regularly. In the beginning, meditation requires focusing the mind on a suitable object and using mindfulness to become aware of the object continuously. You control the mind not to let wandering from one sense object to another, thereby preventing desires, anger, worries from arising. Worry, regret, distraction, and other miscellaneous thoughts from arising. Samatha's main concentrate is unwavering.
Sorry.
Yes.
Hello. Can you show your screen full?
Screen full.
Yes, we just see all the slide, but it's not full screen.
Sorry.
Maybe the internet here is not.
Sorry, I don't understand. Because it's full of the screen on the slide here.
The screen is not really working. Here we see the slides, but
Hi
not
friends,
full screen.
can you see? Or I will
So again, slideshow from beginning, click on it, right? Right.
hello.
It's work. Yeah, it's work now. It's work.
Okay. So I come to the next slide. I'll skip this slide. So can I continue?
Yeah, please.
Yes. Samatha's main concentrate is unwavering, apolitic, and full of peace. And by continuously trying to be mindful of the meditation subject, you strengthen the mental state factor associated with Kusala Chitta. It may holds a mental factor. Concentrate represent for one partners of mind is Ninyattam, a mental factor associated with all Chitta. Is centered on the object, gathering a carbon mental factor together to form a single point state on the object of meditation. So the practice of stillness instructs the training of the mind to calm down for hearings, to develop stillness and reach concentration or higher jhana. Some of these in the second part to Nibbana is first important is to keep the sila morality, and we can reach panya wisdom that we get in vipassana meditation. So right view is important for realizing the truth of suffering to come to the right way. The goal of meditation is samma samadhi, the right concentration, and is a fundamental technique in vipassana meditation. Samatha Kammatthana 40 main meditation subject. We have 7 groups. It's the first 10 kasina object of meditation or elements. This means 10 biến xứ, 10 asubha, the impurity of body, 10 bất tịnh, 10 anisati, recollection, 10 tùy niệm, 4 brahmavihara, living visual, 4 phạm trú, tứ vô lượng, arupa, 4 thiền vô sắc, formless state, one mindfulness of 4 elements, phân tích tứ đại, perception of blessedness, input, vật thực bất tịnh. And here's for referring 10 kasina, 10 object meditation elements, 10 biến xứ, từ đất, nước, gió, lửa, các sắc cho tới hư không và ánh sáng. 10 impurity, 10 bất tịnh, from particles, thân xác bị trương phòng, to a skeleton, trở thành bộ xương. 10 contemplation, recollection, 10 tùy niệm, from recollection of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, tùy niệm Phật, Pháp, Tăng, to mindfulness of great body peace, tùy niệm hơi thở, 32 thể trượt và sự an tịnh. We have 4 phạm trú từ bi hỷ xã và 4 thiền vô sắc, từ hư không vô biên cho đến phi tưởng, phi tưởng. And 6 charita, habitual conduct, 6 loại căn tánh. Is each charita suitable for the topic subject of meditation. Like first raga charita, the basic nature, is for the impurity or mindfulness of the body. Dosa charita, the every nature, is for living visual, tứ vô lượng tâm. Moha charita, the dealing nature, tánh si. And Vitaka charita, the bodily nature, tác ý tập khí, is the self-suitable for mindfulness of the weight, chánh niệm với hơi thở. And Sada charita, the faithful nature, tính tập khí for recollection of the Buddha, Dharma, the Sangha. Buddhi charita, the intelligent nature, is for minh tập khí, is for recollection of death or peace. Tùy niệm sự chết hay là tùy niệm sự an tịnh. And the last pranayama meditation stage. We have 5 stages of meditation. The first level is Rupa Vajrayana, when the meditator with 5 mental state is thought, certain thinking, joy, happiness, one-pointedness, là tầm, tứ, hỷ, lạc và nhất tâm. And then in the second level meditation, Dutiya jhana, we have certain thinking, tứ, hỷ, lạc và nhất tâm. Now your concentration is more before and you can maintain in 1 or 2 or more hours. And in the third level meditation, Tatiya jhana, is have joy, happiness, and one-pointedness. It's joy is a form of psychological excitement, so it's simple and quick. And in the 4 level meditation, Katutha jhana, we have happiness, one-pointedness. That's now the Ekagata, one-pointedness, and happiness more peaceful. And you have to happiness, one-pointedness. Is in the 5th level meditation, Panchamachana, when you get rid of happiness to come to Upekha, equanimity, tâm xã, with one-pointedness, nhất tâm. Is now It's so delicate that the meditator, that the read of the meditator is no longer easy to recognize. That's so much as I referring in Samatha by Dr. Mandy Moore. I will tell you a little bit about the place you find suitable and peaceful place for meditation, and with comfortable sitting, keep your posture upright with your semi-overhead 45-degree and your abdominal keep breathing. And you need to find the right instructor for meditation. And there's the benefit of meditation. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for the somehow just have some recommend on your presentation. Somehow it's very good, but the slide 15, right? Can you show it again? Okay, actually here like we have 5 factors of absorption, right? Or thiền chi, right? But like how to say, when you attend the first jhana, right? Then there's 5 factors, right? So there actually there are 2 ways how to read, like one way, like abandon vichara, vitaka, then he go, the meditators enter the second jhana. So in that case, there will be 4 jhanas, right? But in the case that one just abandon or abandon vitaka, then he enter the second jhana, vichara. Then when he finish, he abandoned vichara. Then he entered the PT, right? So there's sukha, right? So in this case, there's will be 5 jhanas, right? So there's 2 ways. But when you present like this, maybe they misunderstood about this. So I just remind you all about this, right? You got it? Rồi, tôi giải thích tí xíu bằng tiếng Việt cho dễ hiểu. Thì khi mà bạn trình bày như vậy á, thì có thể mình hiểu lầm là thiền đây là dụ ekakata upekha là một cái level cái này, nhưng thực ra khi mà một cái hành giả đã chứng nghiệm được sơ thiền thì nó sẽ có 5 thiền chi, thì là bao gồm vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha, upekha và ekakata. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, right? Actually, ekakata inside has upekha already, right? Vitaka, vichara, piti.
Khi mà lạc nó lên tới điểm đó này thì nó sẽ trở thành xả.
I don't remember this. I think 5, right? Vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha, and ekakata. For sure, yeah, right. Only ekakata, nhất tâm, yeah, for sure. It has called it the characteristics of upekha, right? So only 5. Thì ở đây khi mà có 2 cách, một thì là hành giả khi mà vào sơ thiền thì bỏ luôn vitaka và vichara và nhập vào sơ thiền, thì lúc đó chỉ còn là gì? Piti, sukha, rồi ekakata, sau đó thì bỏ tiếp piti, rồi sau đó bỏ tiếp sukha, sau đó thì còn cái này thôi, ekakata và upekha thôi. Đó, thì cái như vậy thì là có 4 thiền. Còn một cái trường hợp để bỏ từng cái một thì tính là 5, 2 cái cách tính như vậy, và cũng có 2 cái cách thực hành, thì ở đây chia sẻ như vậy. Okay, actually today I found that 2 teams have very good preparation, so at my side I don't prepare a lot, right? Information to share with all of you about this, and actually in the books I also share. I suggest you, right? You have a lot of information. Okay, the benefits of meditation here actually is just modern, right? List by modern people, right? But like you know, according to the tradition of Theravāda, we have the sutta, we have 11 benefits, right? And if you count in other ways, we have a lot of benefits. Yeah? So many benefits. Okay, so do you have any question for team 6? Any question? Please raise your hand. Okay, if you have no question, then we go to next week. The assignment. Team 4, Ngân Lâm, you have question? Ngân Lâm, please.
I have questions about the samatha meditation. We all know that if we only practice samatha meditation, we cannot attain enlightenment. So why we should practice samatha meditation? My question is that, well, we know that if we only practice samatha meditation, we cannot attain enlightenment. So why should we practice samatha meditation? Is there any benefit to the way to liberation? I mean, because she didn't mention about any benefit in Dhamma practice, you know, so I don't have any idea that why I should practice samatha.
I think like you misunderstand about your question. You said that like we know that practice samatha, right? Yeah. Then we can get enlightenment.
No, sure. I mean that if we only practice samatha, if we only practice samatha, we cannot attain enlightenment.
Right? No, well, we only samatha. You cannot enlightenment. You cannot.
Yeah. Is it the point? So why should we practice samatha? So is there any benefit of samatha for our journey to liberation?
Okay. So how can you answer this question?
Sorry, sorry, can you repeat?
Cái câu hỏi của bạn. Okay, then you speak Vietnamese. It's easier to understand.
Okay, so câu hỏi của con là nếu như mình biết được là mình chỉ thực hành thiền định thì mình không thể nào đi đến giải thoát được. Vậy thì tại sao là mình nên thực hành thiền định? Nó có một cái giá trị như thế nào? Nó có cái ích lợi gì cho mình trên con đường giải thoát của mình? Okay, this is my question.
Okay, as I say in the presentation, samatha is the fundamental for vipassana. Là mình tập trung để mình đạt đến trí tuệ trong sorry.
Okay, I will help you to say. Actually, those practice vipassana to reach nibbana, right? Actually, two kinds of meditators. So wet vipassana and dry vipassana is thiền ướt và thiền khô ha. Thiền vipassana ướt và vipassana khô. Ước là cái hành giả nó thực hành đã chứng nghiệm được cái vipassana, đã chứng nghiệm được định, như sơ thiền, nhị thiền, vân vân, và bắt đầu chuyển sang hành thiền vipassana. Đó gọi là hành giả vipassana ước. Còn khô là không cần phải chứng nghiệm được jhana, tôi không cần được chứng nghiệm được cái thiền định, chỉ cần là tới gọi là sát na định hoặc là cần định thôi, bắt đầu chuyển sang thực hành vipassana đều chứng nghiệm được hết. Thì tùy theo một cái nghiệp và cái sự thực hành của cái hành giả đó thì có thể là mỗi người sẽ có một cái cá nhân đó sẽ có một cái việc thực hành khác nhau. Có một cái nữa là nếu mà mình nhìn ở cái góc độ bình thường, khi mà một cái vị Sambuddha không có xuất hiện trên thế gian thì cái ở rất là nhiều cái thời điểm hay là nhiều cái giai đoạn, cái mà chúng sinh cho rằng cái chứng ngộ cao nhất, đạt được cái sự giải thoát cao nhất, tức là chứng được thiền định. Chỉ khi nào một cái vị Sambuddha xuất hiện thì mới chỉ ra cái con đường để hành và chứng ngộ được cái niết bàn đó, đưa đến cái sự giải thoát. Thì cái giá trị của Vipassana, của Samatha, thiền Samatha ở chỗ nào? Samatha thì nó có cái chức năng là gì? Nó cũng thanh lọc được tâm. Ở rất nhiều từ những cái ô gọi là cái defilements, gross defilement to subtle defilements, là những cái ô nhiễm thô cho đến những cái ô nhiễm vi tế. Nhưng mà cái thiền Jhana, Samatha thì nó không diệt được toàn bộ tới cái gốc rễ cuối cùng, mà nó chỉ vẫn còn những cái ô nhiễm vi tế rất là sâu trong tâm thức Bhavana thì mới diệt trừ được thôi. Không, mình nói như vậy không có nghĩa là gì cái thiền Samatha nó không có giá trị. Là sao? Cái người mà đã chứng cái thiền định rất là cao, cái ô nhiễm họ chỉ còn có tí xíu thôi. Khi họ thực hành Vipassana, họ sẽ gì quét sạch những ô nhiễm nó rất là nhanh. Nó còn nhiều yếu tố, nhưng mà ví dụ như một cái vị đã chứng được tứ thiền, hoặc là đã chứng được cái thiền vô sắc, thì cái vị đó học Vipassana, cái tâm cái vị đó cực kỳ thanh tịnh, thân khẩu ý vị đó cực kỳ thanh tịnh rồi, thì cái vị đó quán tuệ sẽ thấy được rất là nhiều thứ so với cái người còn ô nhiễm. Thì cái giá trị của nó là một cái bước đệm, một cái xuất phát rất là cao so với cái người bình thường. Cái người giữa một cái người mà đã chứng được thiền định với một cái người mà không thể nào chứng được thiền định, thì khi mà thực hành Vipassana mình sẽ thấy rất là rõ. Và nhìn ở cái góc độ bình thường thôi, mình sẽ thấy cái người mà cái khả năng tập trung rất là cao, thì khi họ thực hành thiền quán đó, cái khả năng để cái tâm nó trụ trên cái đối tượng sẽ rất là lâu so với cái người không có được cái định mạnh. Thì cái góc độ đó mình nhìn mình sẽ thấy. Và một cái điều rõ ràng nữa, cái người mà đã chứng thiền rồi họ thích yên tĩnh, họ thích những cái thanh cao, những cái nó vi tế. Còn cái người mà chưa chứng được thiền thì vẫn còn nhiều cái thô. Mình không có thể mình so sánh được cả hai, nhưng mà cái kinh nghiệm thực tế của thầy cho thấy là gì, cái người mà đã có định rồi sẽ khác rất là nhiều so với cái người cũng thực hành thiền tuệ thôi, nhưng mà vẫn chưa có định thôi. Cho nên ví dụ có nhiều người mình thấy chưa có chứng định đó, nhưng mà họ thực hành thiền rất là nhiều năm, vẫn có nhiều cái vấn đề nó rất là thô, những cái ô nhiễm rất là thô. Nhưng mà có những người họ đã thực hành thiền định rất là lâu rồi, và họ cũng không có hẳn là họ thực hành Vipassana, nhưng thấy họ rất nhẹ nhàng, tinh tế, có nhiều điều trong cái cuộc sống, trong cái ứng xử, mình thấy những cái tham, cái sân của họ so với cái người kia thấy nó khác rất là rõ. Ví dụ như vậy, cái đó là một số cái những thực tế. Có một cái bảng so sánh như lớp mình chưa có học hết ta. Có một cái bảng so sánh giữa cái thiền Samatha và Vipassana. Thì tạm thời thôi đi, thầy chưa có chia sẻ. Nếu mà lớp mình chưa có chia sẻ thì thầy sẽ, sau khi chúng ta học vào cái phần Vipassana đó, thì thầy sẽ đưa cái bảng cho mình xem để mình thấy rõ hơn, thấy rõ được hơn cái giá trị của cái Vipassana với lại Samatha. Rồi thì tạm thời mình ngưng bên đây. Rồi cái phần tiếp theo là chúng ta sẽ dành 2 tuần để nói về Bhavana Samatha. Thì lý thuyết chúng ta học nhiều rồi, bây giờ có một cái phần mà ít khi nào mà mọi người biết được đó là gì, thực hành như thế nào để gì chứng được sơ thiền. Như nãy mình học rồi, mình thấy là có 5 cái chi thiền, có 5 đặc điểm như vậy ha. Thì cái tuần tiếp theo những cái nhóm thuyết trình của nhóm nghiên cứu chúng ta nghiên cứu làm sao gì cụ thể, ít nhất là mình chưa có chứng đi chăng nữa đi. thì phải biết thực hành như thế nào để chứng được ít nhất là sơ thiền. Thì ở đây yêu cầu là gì? Tìm hiểu chứng về thiền thì có thiền sơ thiền đến tứ thiền ha. Đó. Thì cái tài liệu chia sẻ mọi người thì nó nằm ở trong cái phần là gì? Thanh tịnh đạo ha, Visuddhimagga in Vietnamese thì là gì? Thanh tịnh đạo, Pali tiếng Anh. Thì có cái bản tiếng Anh thì của ngài Nyanamoli và được biên tập lại do Bhikkhu Bodhi. Còn các bản tiếng dịch tiếng Việt thì được dịch bởi anh cư sĩ Pháp Triều. Đó, thì cái này nó cũng tương đối là nhiều và hơi khó, nhưng mà các bản tiếng Việt mọi người, nếu mà tiếng Anh mình chưa có biết nhiều về những cái thuật ngữ hay về thiền đó thì mình cứ đọc bản tiếng Việt trước, sau đó đọc bản tiếng Anh đó, rồi chuẩn bị cái bài thuyết trình cũng như cái bài luận của mình. Right? Rồi thôi lớp mình học tới đây là chấm dứt, kết thúc ở đây. So good night everyone.
Thank you so much, teacher. Thank you, classmates.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Welcome.